We've started off the year very strongly indeed with a 6.5% return. It's primarily due to our asset allocation. At this time last year, our theme was, can reflation continue? And we came to the conclusion that reflation can continue given a certain set of circumstances. That is, that interest rates continue to remain extremely low. And secondly, is that we would hope that the US consumer would kick off. And essentially what we've done in the last 14 months is had a very aggressive, if you like, stance towards cash. And in June of last year, we moved 11% of our cash into short-term US Treasuries. And the first reason for that was the geopolitical risk. But the second reason became apparent in that we believe, and believed at the time and still believe, that the US economy and its recovery is self-sustaining. 41% return over the period, 9.7% last year, and we saw a return of 6.5% so far this year. We're broadly positive about assets generally, although equity markets have come a long way. And I think this year we'll see more volatility than we have in previous years. Appian funds have performed very well in the short term and very well in the long term. Depending on which fund you went into and what level of volatility or risk you want to take, we've generated between 6% and 11% this year, and over the longer run we've generated between 40 and 60%, depending on which fund you went into, so very satisfactory returns.
It's only been 2 months, and it's been a very busy 2 months, and indeed it's been a very busy 14 months in the run-up to the launch. But the launch has gone very successfully. It was a big project for us to get up and running. I was delighted on the 1st of January when everything worked, the technology worked. As ever in building an audience, it's a slow start, but the audience the trajectory of that audience going forward is moving in the right direction for us. If you open a set of our accounts, you'll see pages and pages on the strategy, but in fact I tend to the view you can break it down into 4 elements. The key one and the hardest one of all is to build the audiences. And what we had to try and achieve first was a reliable source of high quality programming. That really is much more difficult than people imagine. The most obvious place for us was the programming source that we already use in the north, and that's ITV. We approached ITV and we were able to do a deal with ITV on the totality of the programming which ITV studios produce. Our aspiration, as I say, is to be number 2 in the market within 2 years. Confident that we'll get there, but still very early days, and you know there's a lot still to do.